Let's kick off with a look at the currency. It's gathered some 21% against the greenback since October, where it traded to a low of 107. It's sitting at that level 84 this morning. What are your views on the outlook for the currency as we go into the weekend and, of course, into next week?
Thank you very much, Sam. The shilling has strengthened, had pressures from buyers at the beginning of the month because of the high demand associated with end-month buying. However, over time it has strengthened. This is attributed to the strengthening shilling position and better performance of the economy, as attributed to the lower inflationary pressures in the market.
Looking at the equity market, East African Breweries yesterday was one of the most popular stocks that was traded, and it also interestingly was one of the most popular shares held by pension schemes last year. Interesting that they're looking to take a position on the company as we've got competition increasing across the segments that it operates in. Just looking at its segment in the low-cost segment, it is looking to source cheaper raw materials from sorghum farmers in the East African region. How do you think this is going to benefit it in terms of its cost expense line?
Right. The East African Breweries was the major mover in the last trading session, doing about 46% in the market. This was attributed to buyers who high demand due to the fact that it is about to announce its media results this year. And on top of that, people look at it as going to do very well. Of course, there are issues concerning the supply line in terms of wheat production, but they have extended their presence into the region. They are buying from Tanzania, they are buying from Kenya, and this will essentially strengthen the stock. And so going forward, the stock will continue to perform very well.
Let's look at it, as you say, with the concerns around those margins which have been hit by those laws with regards to alcohol taxes and the operating hours of bars, and that's had an impact on beer consumption. You've also got the high operating cost environment. Inflation is still high. Sin taxes have been introduced. On the cost expense line, are you concerned, as you say, although it's sourcing cheaper raw materials, are you concerned that this is going to persist as a problem in 2012?
Part of the problem is environmental factors, that the country has not experienced good rains in the past, and that is regional, and that really cannot be prevented. So it is everyone's hope that the weather will perform well and the rains will come and the raw material will be affordable. Sorry. This, however, does not rule out the fact that the stock has a few risk factors that will affect it in the long run. Notwithstanding the aforesaid, I think it's still a good counter to go for.
Price-wise, where are you putting the stock on a valuation perspective? Because it was trading above 200 shillings last year, currently sitting just under 170 shillings. It has managed to rally some in the past 3 months by some 10%. What are your views on the type of upside that we could see in the next few months?
The stock will continue to do well. However, in the short run, due to speculative buying, considering the fact that it is about to do its results, but in the long run, however, indeed it will succumb to the factors, the environmental factors around it, and that will affect it in a big way.
We've talked about the cost line, but of course we can't ignore the heightened competition in the region. SAB Miller launching several brands in the past few months. Where specifically is SAB Miller hoping to gain some market share from East African breweries?
If they go for the lower end of the market, then I believe that they will get a foothold into the market. They have been in the market before, and it didn't work very well for them. EABL has a great hold over the market. And so there are two ways of coming in. One, unless they come in with the lower bottom line, where their raw materials are cheaper, And that is the only way they can beat East African breweries. But of course, when they come in, it will be an interesting observation to watch.
Let's move on to the banking sector and focusing on Equity Bank. James Mwange, who's of course the CEO of Equity, was in the news yesterday saying that to the parliamentary committee, saying that the bank wasn't responsible for last year's shilling woes and that they don't have influence over monetary policy. Could these allegations from the parliamentary committee have any impact on the company?
I don't think so in any way. I think Equity Bank is a strong share. It's a strong counter. Notwithstanding that, the proceedings, the parliamentary proceedings, have affected some shares in the industry because people feel like there are a few who will have to face the law. NIC Bank has been penalized, or rather will be penalized for a fine of 1 million shillings. Really, I do not believe that that will affect the bottom line of the companies or the industry at large.
So not a material impact, but just looking at Equity's stock, just for the 9 months to September, you had net income jumping by some 30%. The expectations are we're going to have double-digit growth for the full year. Just give us an idea of how you expect them to have performed in the final quarter of 2011.
Right. Equity Bank has rallied about has gone up about 9% in the last 1 month. Of course, the price was affected by price taking as it adjusted itself. In the coming few months, we foresee that Equity Bank will still be doing well. The banking sector has a way of resisting environmental conditions, harsh environmental conditions, and even given the high interest rates, everyone thought that probably the default rates will make the industry to feel the pinch. But that is not the case because they have been conservative in their lending, and that has made them to give good rewards to their shareholders. And so Equity Bank will continue to do well.